Hi everybody, CraftyDog here, and in this tutorial I'm going to be showing you how I create awesome Skaven faces and skin tones in a very quick way. The first thing to do is make sure that your Skaven is primed. You can prime it in any primer that you prefer, but I used Army Painter's Airbrush Matte Grey Primer here but brushed it on. After the model is primed, base coat all the skin tone areas with Citadel Bugman's Glow. Make sure that you apply this in thin coats so you get a nice smooth coverage. It took me 2 coats to achieve this very flat colour. Next, wash over all the skin tone with Citadel Rockland Flesh Shade. Make sure not to let this pool too much, it should be tinting more in the recesses and the creases. The first highlight that we're going to do is going to be with Citadel Bugman's Glow again. Make sure that you're painting all of the raised areas and leaving the wash tinted areas in the recesses. The next highlight is going to be Citadel Cadian Flesh Tone. Paint this on top of the previous highlight, making sure that some of that Bugman's Glow is still showing through. It might apply quite bright, but this colour will dull a little bit when it's dry. Now highlight with Citadel Kislev Flesh. Paint this on top of the Cadian Flesh Tone highlight, whilst making sure that the Bugman's and the Cadian highlight is still slightly visible underneath. I tend to focus this one on the very top parts, or the edges, where light would hit more. Now take some thinned Citadel Rhinox hide and place it where the eyes go, kinda like giving this little rat some dark brown eyeliner. I then take some Vallejo Deck Tan, but any off-white or light grey colour will work, just not pure white. And with this colour I dotted the eyes. Eyes are never easy, even for me, and I've done dozens of them. The best advice I can give you is to make sure that your brush is very fine and pointy, and the paint is at least thinned a tiny bit so it doesn't immediately dry on your brush. If you find eyes quite intimidating, then this part can be skipped, just leave the previous Rhinox hides on the eyes. This next bit is optional. I basically glaze some blue into the very crease of the skin. This adds a really nice and interesting contrast and really makes the skin pop. The colour I used here was Ocean Blue by AK Interactive, but I've had similar results with any kind of dark blue. Next is another bit of extra detail that I do. I take some Citadel Caribou Crimson, or pink contrast or ink also works. But you take a small amount of this on your brush, do not completely fill it up. And then you apply it lightly to places where skin would be thinner and redder. So think ears, end of nose, cheeks, knuckles, elbows, knees, bottom of the feet, places like that. This is an additional bit of detail that can be skipped if you're going for basic, but I find it really makes the minis pop. I also base coat the teeth with Rhinox hide or a dark brown of any kind. I then highlight the teeth with Morghast bone. And lastly, GW show Skaven quite often with glowy red eyes, so let's do that. Using some Blood Angel's red contrast paint, I get a small amount on the brush and brush over the eyes. You can even do an additional dot of white on the edges for that extra sparkle, but I don't do that. And you're done! I hope you have enjoyed this tutorial. I'd like to thank my first few patrons, Chubbly and Holly Pivo Victoria Gaming. Thank you so much for your support. I stream 3 days a week on Twitch painting miniatures, and I would love to see you there. If you don't want to come to my Twitch streams, I post regularly on Instagram and Facebook, and you can find the links for everything like that in the description below. And I will see you all on the next video. Bye!